Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Ray.
And Alexis.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Get ready to watch this podcast. Before you watch this podcast, I'll let you know. We talked about some very heavy issues, especially dealing with mental health.
Yeah.
If you or anyone you know are dealing with issues with mental health, feel free to reach out to someone. It's okay to reach out to someone. Alexis, tell people they can reach out if they have any issue.
Yeah. So they can reach out a couple different ways. So if you're wanting to go a coaching route, which is going to be a more present, future-focused practice, you can go to paragoncoaching.biz, or you can reach out to me, 806-626-9720. Or if you're wanting to go more of a clinical therapy route, you can go to assuresource.com, 972-233-1010.
It's not a shame to get help. Thank you for watching this. Tune in. Enjoy this amazing episode. See you later.
Bye.
All day, get money all night. Sip my drink home, let's get right. Getting paid, I'm getting paid. Roll one up, let's catch this flight. Pour another cup home, let's get right. Getting paid, I'm getting paid. Hey, this your boy Tight. Can't say the Tight without the...
Hey, yo, we back at it again. Ray Ray's podcast, live from Hello Studios, beautiful downtown Dallas. It's nighttime session going on. It's been a minute since we recorded at night. Back at it again. Got an amazing show planned for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to us. Still make sure you're going to go like and subscribe all the channels, all the content on YouTube, RayRaysPodcast.com, Instagram, TikTok. Be sure to subscribe, follow us, let's get them dollars up. Thank you for all your support, because we can't do this without y'all. Hope everyone's having a great new year so far. If you've got some goals, I hope you've been crushing it. If not, if you need to start over, it's all right. Start over again. Let's make sure we get you back on track, get those goals accomplished for this, 2023. It's the Jordan year. So, we got the GOAT. We got to get greatness this year, all right? But, this is the time of the show I like to restart people's days, their week, or maybe even their month. This is where I want you, kind of get your Birdman hands together, rub them together, get your swag on yourself. And just think about some things. If you need some positive words, in just case no one's ever told you. All right. So in case no one has told you today, I just want you to know you're beautiful, you're loved, you're needed, you're alive for a reason. Hey, you're stronger than you think. All right. You're going to get through this. See, I'm glad you're alive. And don't give up. So when you keep positive words in your mind, keep them in your brain, it's going to be autopilot when bad things happen. You just think about, you know what? I am going to get through this. I am worthy. So just remember that. Think highly of yourself. That's that. Let's start the show, all right? So let's get into it, man. We got a great guest today. Real great guest. I actually met, but she forgot she met me. It's okay. She kind of forgot about me. It's cool. It is. My mom forgets about me too. But never mind. Y'all may know her as Queen Cavo, all in the social world. Everyone give a Ray Ray's podcast welcome to Miss Alexis Cavo in the building. What's up? Oh, get your cheers. Get your cheers. They hear you? Hold on. These people, they love you. They love you. They love you. They love you. Hold on. There you go. See? Stop it. How you doing? Thank you for pulling up today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you for taking time. I know you got a busy schedule and stuff, but you took time to pull up to Ray Ray's podcast, so we greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
All got busy schedules.
We all got
you make time for what you want to make time for.
That's what I tell people. If somebody want to do something, they really do it.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest thing, is text messaging. I may not text you right back, but at some point you got to reply.
Yeah, or answer.
But hey, that's neither here nor there. We're glad to have you in the building.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We got a little mimosa situation going on today. A little charcuterie board. I'm joking. Charcuterie board. I'm just joking around, people. I know what it's called. All right. All right. So.
Yeah.
You're a mental health coach.
I am.
Okay. So, how did you become a mental health coach?
Yeah.
And what are some challenges in being a mental health coach?
Oh, that's a good question. So I became a mental health coach as kind of my loophole to start helping people in the mental health industry professionally without going to get my license. So here's the thing. being a mental health coach, anybody can kind of slap that label on their name. But I went to school for it, and I went to grad school, and I completed it. So really all I have to do is get my license to be a therapist. So a lot of people get it kind of confused, what a mental health therapist is and a mental health coach. They're pretty similar, but they're also completely different. So I finished grad school, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go and be a therapist. Then I was like, oh, shoot, I got to get my license. And then I have to still go, so many hours. It was going to be like another 1.5 to 2 years for me to get my license to actually start working. And at the time going through school, I was working in the promo industry, and I was promoting in the liquor industry. And I was managing a company there. And so I was working plus school full time, plus doing modeling on the side. And I was just doing so much where I was like, I don't know if I can take on being going through the licensing process. I was just burnt out on school. So anyways, I had like this flashback come up from my mom actually telling me, because I started to like reconsider what I wanted to do with my life after grad school. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go through all this just to go be a therapist. And then I had like this flashback come up with my mom telling me, and she was like, you'd be really good at, like a life coach. And I didn't even know what that was. And so that popped in my head for a reason. And I went and did my research, and then I started doing more research, and then I started getting into courses. And then from there, that's kind of how I did it. I started my brand. It's called Paragon Consulting, LLC. And I started my LLC, and I started just taking on a bunch of people pro bono and seeing if hey, I learned a lot in grad school. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm going to go that route, but I'm trying a different approach. If you trust me, let's see if we can work together. And I just started doing it. And I mean, handfuls and handfuls of people were interested in it because it's a free service, and I'm helping their mental health. And from there, I was like, I'm going to brand myself as a mental health coach instead of just kind of like slapping the label on and right out of school and saying, this is what I am. I put in some work and some research into it, took on some free clients. They were like, it works. And then I was like, I think it's time for me to actually go ahead and like consider myself a mental health coach. And that's how I got into it.
Facts. Anything you do in life, there's going to be difficulties, all right?
Yeah.
It's just the way the world is and real life is. So tell me, how do you handle like a difficult client?
Yeah. A difficult client. Yeah, you get those just like in any industry, in sales. And I mean, literally anything that you do in life, there's going to be difficult people. I think that I kind of have, I'm not going to say I have the upper hand, but because I understand that people project onto you, I don't take things personally. So if I have a difficult client, I actually have the power to say, hey, we don't have to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I have I've had difficult clients, but it kind of happens almost with not every client, but when you're working with people in the mental health field, you're doing a lot of self-awareness, and you're confronting yourself, and you're seeing the ugly sides of you that your friends are not going to point out. So you get lots of eye rolls. I remember like getting my first eye roll with a really successful finance guy in the stock market. Here I am, out of grad school, like trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I remember, he had this epiphany. He didn't like it about himself. So I got, an eye roll. And so ever since then, like that was my, how do I want to take that? He's not liking something about himself. And I could sit here and sugarcoat things, but this is what's going on. And I have to be the one that tells him because nobody else is. And then from there, we continued to work together for like a whole nother year. So, I mean, he was like, thank you. I'm so glad that I had that realization at the time. I didn't like hearing that, but if I have a difficult client, I just don't take it personal. If it gets to the point where they're just not receptive of like my services, it's like, hey, I don't think that we're a good match anymore. And I'll refer them out to somebody else, just kind of hand them off. Yeah.
Fact, you said I ain't got time today for this. This is not the time of day.
I haven't really had to do that, though. I've had really one client where I said, hey, I've told you multiple times and I'm going to have to like terminate our contract. And in our contract, like, you're not getting your money back. Like, you know what you're signing up for. Like, you can't cross these types of boundaries. And this is this was a client that I don't know if I'll ever listen to this, maybe. But he was crossing boundaries as far as like hitting on me.
That's what the question I was going to ask. I kind of figured as much that was going to.
Yeah, too. And so it's like, you're telling me your personal business, and I know your personal business with your relationships, and my job is to not, that my job is to help you have self-awareness so that you can fix your problems. I'm not coming in between anything. No. And if I feel like it's starting to be kind of weird, like, I'm gonna cut off our communication. Like, we're just not gonna do this. So I gave him a warning. I gave him like 2 warnings. Hey, like, you can't be texting me good morning. Like, you can't, like, no, we talk in our sessions, and then you do your homework, and then we talk when we meet again in our sessions. If you need help throughout the week, let me know. You have access to me. But it's not like, like, I hope your day is going well. Like, we don't have that type of relationship. It's a little bit different. So yeah, I had to warn him a couple times, and eventually had to cut off communication. Well, terminate his contract, and then I had to actually block. Yeah.
Guys, stop being creeps. Just, I know Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
Don't be creeps.
It's true. Valentine's Day is.
Maybe he was feeling lonely. I don't know. I'm not trying to excuse what he was doing. I don't know. Maybe he's like, dang,
Yeah. Not while we're having sessions. Like, while you're my client, no. Outside, it was still going to be a no. But, I've told you, I've given you warnings, and you're not listening. You're disrespecting me now, and my boundaries and my professionalism. So that's something I hold, strong to.
I mean, you're 100% right. But part of you should be a little flattered, take that as a compliment. Or was he just a creep,
I mean, it's like, yes, I'm flattered, but also at the same time, if I tell you, like, hey, thank you, like, at first, like, I'm not just like right off the bat, like, hey, stop doing that. I'm like, thank you, hope your day's going well as well. But then when it's like repetitive thing, and I've asked you, like, okay, hey, we're going to have to keep our conversations especially because I know what's going on in your life. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be put into that. Yeah. So I'm going to have to tell you to stop doing this, or we're going to have to stop working together. And you didn't listen, so we had to stop working together. Yeah.
I mean, hey, you had to do what was best for you and your well-being, kudos to that. So Alexis Cavo, health coach, okay?
Mental health
coach, right?
Yeah.
What sets you apart from other mental health coaches?
What sets me apart from, I think just my own individuality. I think just me being me. Like, there's nobody else that's me. And that sets me apart, obviously. I have a different personality. I reach people in different ways. The way that I communicate with people is different than another mental health coach. So, I think I've got a lot of education behind me too. And I still have so much more education that I want to do and take in and to be able to provide to other people. I also have my own training course. So I think that's, a big thing. There's people that are, just mental health coaches, which is awesome. I'm friends with other mental health coaches that are so amazing at what they do. But I have put in so much time and effort, and I've created a whole training program. And I think that, just my drive and my ambition and the passion that I bring into it, and just me being me, what I'm able to offer, sets me apart. You got to work with me and you'll understand. Yeah.
Now, are you one of those people that definitely practice what they preach?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I want to ask you, how do you personally deal with mental health challenges?
Yeah. So, I think it can be a roller coaster sometimes. Like, we all go through things, right? There's times where it's like, okay, I am working too hard and I need to take that time for self-care, like I'm telling other people to take time for self-care. And I've kind of pushed myself to the edge. Now I'm a little bit moody, or, I'm tired, or my health has, hit the wall at some point in time. But For the most part, I think that I do pretty well, and I have that self-awareness to know, like, okay, you need to, like, check in with yourself, something's wrong. And so I like, if it gets to a point where I need to take care of my mental health and it's gotten really bad, I go see a therapist. Like, that's like my first, like, I'm quick to it. I can't wait to see my therapist when I notice that my mental health isn't doing great. So typically, like, your mental health coach or your therapist, they have their own therapist or their own coach.
No.
So that's how I take care of mine, is I have another mentor that I look towards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want you to kind of take me on a journey here. We want to paint a picture for me, all right?
Okay.
So right now in the present, mental health coach, all right? Talk to me about, how did you get to this journey to become a mental health coach? What got you here?
That's good. So I was telling you earlier, I started off going to school as I wanted to be a news broadcaster. So I thought I wanted to go and just read a teleprompter and be on TV and smile, look pretty, and, like, get paid. That's what I thought that I wanted to do. And then I realized that it wasn't. I had, like, this little crisis after I graduated from Amarillo College. Shout out to Amarillo College, small little town, but great college. I had this, like, breakdown one day after graduating and deciding I don't want to keep going to school for this. Did I just waste my time? And I struggled with depression and anxiety from just growing up as a kid. I had a really crazy childhood. Both of my parents were on drugs. I actually found out, like, last year that, like, I was actually born, like, my mom was still doing drugs while she was pregnant with me, and I had no idea. And I was like, so that's what's wrong with me. But both of my parents were on drugs, and I grew up in a very unstable, the craziest scenarios that you could think of. I have so many stories of, like, a kid should not have to go through that, or a kid should not have to, be sleeping in those places. And so I had, I was set up for failure, really, as a kid. And, my mom and dad did their best what they could being on drugs. And you can only do so well when you're on drugs. So I don't ever, like, want to shame them, because my mom is sober now. She's been 4 years sober. But, your parents can only do as best as they can. And if there's drugs involved, that's a disease, that's an illness, and they can't even take care of themselves. So, that's just kind of how it goes. And so, yeah, I struggled with depression, anxiety, like, all while I was growing up. I mean, I did all the things, drinking and smoking marijuana all the time, there's nothing, I'm not shaming those either. But as a kid, probably shouldn't be doing those things. Yeah. Self-harm, suicidal ideation. I wanted to end it. I thought I was a mistake. That's the biggest thing when I was growing up. I always thought I was a mistake. I was like, my mom and dad were on drugs and they had me. Like, obviously they didn't want to have me. They're choosing drugs. Like, they can't take care of me. So I really struggled with some really dark thoughts throughout my whole life growing up. And then, so when I went to school and I was like, I wanted to paint this pretty picture of, like, being on camera and being a news anchor. And then I realized that I wasn't passionate about it. I had this breakdown and I was like, I've struggled with depression and anxiety, like, my whole life, and it's here again. And I know that I'm not passionate about this. Oh yeah, I'm proving my younger self right. Like, I am a mistake. You don't have a passion. So I was like, I had these really dark thoughts. Like, you're only supposed to be alive if you have a purpose. You're only supposed to be alive if you have a passion, and I don't have these things. So I think that I'm not supposed to be here. So I was really, like, real close to, like, ending it all. And I knew that I needed some help. And so I went to school, to my college, Amarillo College. After I graduated, it felt like a walk of shame. And I walked in there and I was like, I need to talk to somebody. I don't know who, I don't know what, but I need to talk to somebody. I'm struggling right now. Yeah. And I think they knew, like, what it was. So I talked to a counselor and I told her, like, I'm just not passionate. I feel like I don't have purpose. I don't know what, like, I've been crying in my room, and I live in an apartment by myself, like, barely making rent, working 2 jobs. And she guided me towards social work, and she pulled up, like, a list, like, hundreds of jobs that I could do. And she just started naming them off. Do you want to do something like this? like, I remember her saying, like, a mediator, you're going to be the person, you know, between mom and dad, because I didn't know what that was. You're going to be the person between mom and dad getting to decide where the kid goes. I'm like, oh, yeah, I would like to do that because I struggled going between my mom and dad, so I want to help. And so I started finding purpose there. And so she's like, we're going to go ahead and put you in some classes. It's okay. Like, a lot of your classes from mass communications, your first degree, they're going to help you. You're not far behind at all. And so I started finding purpose again, got into the classes. I was like, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be in the mental health field. And so, yeah, I got into courses and then got my bachelor's and then got my master's. And then I was like, this is it. This is where I'm at. And so even when I graduated and I was like, I don't want to continue to go to school or to continue to get hours to go and be a therapist. Like, I'm done with school. I was so burnt out. I still knew I was supposed to be in the mental health field. And I was like, I got a freaking master's degree. I can do something with this. And then I got into mental health coaching, and that's how I got there. Yeah.
Me personally, I really want to applaud you.
Oh, thanks.
That takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of courage. One, to admit, you know, and say all the things you have going on or had going on. Because, you know, like I said, the first step is always admitting.
Yeah.
You can't ever get anything fixed until you realize, okay, I have an issue, I have something going on. So I definitely want to applaud you on that. And it takes a lot of courage, you know, to get through a lot of that stuff like that. Life is not easy.
No. Yeah.
It's not easy. And for you to decide, you know, I'm gonna keep at it. I want to push through. I want to make it on the other side. I mean, hey, big ups to you.
Yeah,
you know,
thank
congratulations.
Thank
you got like a glow about you now. Like, it's just, you know.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's really dope. You know?
That's why I was listening to your podcasts with like other hosts. I heard you, you know, the way you start off your show. I was like, that's awesome, because you don't know who you are affecting, like, when you're saying those things. And
it's just not a matter of just everyone else. It's also, it helps me.
Yeah.
You know, my day could be going crappy, but I can't let that be shown that my day is going crappy. Who wants to tune into someone with a crappy attitude and like, whatever? Nobody wants to tune into that. Yeah. And just, sometimes things aren't the way we want them to be, but if you say and manifest what you want them to be, they're going to be.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell yourself, like, I'm a loser, I'm a nobody, you're going to be a loser, you're going to be a nobody. Those negative thoughts are just going to be around.
Absolutely.
But if you say those positive words, I am somebody, you know, I'm going to fulfill my worth, I'm going to fulfill my destiny, things of that nature, you're going to do it naturally. It's just the way things work, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of something that I teach in my course, actually, what you're talking about, because your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings create your actions.
Yeah.
And so whatever you're thinking, like you said, if you're thinking I'm a piece of crap, your feeling is going to be crappy. Your feeling is going to worthless, probably. And so your actions are fueled by your emotions. Every single thing that you do on this planet is fueled by an action. Yeah. So if you're feeling worthless, you're going to be showing up in the world as somebody who feels worthless.
Facts.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say something real quick. You know, with Valentine's Day is you know, it's around the corner too. A lot of people, they don't feel loved because they don't have someone. Just because you ain't got nobody doesn't mean you're not loved. You know, I just want y'all to know that, you know. Yeah. 'Cause I know a lot of people get depressed and sad around like the holidays and like stuff like that. Like, it's okay. Your time isn't yet. It's just not your time.
Yeah.
It's just not your time yet.
Yeah, and love is a choice. Yeah. You get to choose to feel love if you want to. Yeah. Like, you know, and speaking about Valentine's Day, you know, maybe you've gone through a breakup or something and you are sad about that. And maybe that breakup has a Valentine already. I don't know what's going on in your life. But I always say, like, when you think about past relationships, like, if you're not going to choose to love them, because at one point you did, at one point you loved them, and then they did something and they made you mad and you're not together anymore or whatever. So if you're not going to love them, what else are you going to choose to feel? You choose to feel hate? Well, that doesn't feel good. Why would you choose to not feel good? Yeah. So, I mean, you can continue to love anybody and everybody, and you're the only one that's going to feel it. So, I mean, if you got the choice, you might as well choose the one that feels good. Okay. Yeah.
Facts. Actual factuals. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about two things, and we're going to get into some fun stuff here, okay?
Okay.
First thing, let's talk about Paragon Consulting. Where's the current state right now at Paragon Consulting?
So right now we just finished week 1 of the training program. So I've actually hired on a handful of coaches for the team. I'm going to be transitioning out of not being a mental health coach myself. I'm going to be a coach's coach. So I will only be focusing on coaching my coaches, and I'm not going to be taking on clients anymore. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm building a really strong foundation of a variety. My goal is kind of crazy, but it is what it is. I want to have a Paragon is a diamond. I don't know if you see me post the diamonds all the time, but it's a 7-sided diamond, and it's like the perfect quality diamond out of every single diamond that there is. I want to literally have a building that's shaped 7-sided as a Paragon, and I want to have, a variety of so many different coaches that we can reach, whoever we need to reach. That's why when you ask me, like what sets me apart from another mental health coach, I'm like, well, just me being me, because for some reason I reached this person and this person didn't. So I want to create that, but on a wider scale. So yeah, currently we're on week 1. It's 10 weeks. So after 10 weeks, they have to get so many hours of pro bono like I did. And then they'll be able to start taking their own clients, and I'll just be coaching them, and they'll be coaching people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
All right. So not only are you kind of coaching mentally, I know you got your physical, you work out.
Yeah.
Talk about that, because I know you're a big workout.
Yeah.
Guru.
So I'm also a HIIT instructor. That kind of just fell into my lap once my mental health got under control. I was not the healthiest going through school. I mean, even learning about mental health and going through grad school, I was not. I mean, I literally, there was one time where I went in Sunday Fun-Dayed, and I had a really big test, and I knew I wasn't going to make it because I Sunday Fun-Dayed. I was hammered. And so I lied, and I started the test, and then I ended it like, oops, I don't know what happened, because I wasn't going to be able to do the test. I was drunk. Yeah. And so I emailed my teacher, and luckily, and I didn't do that often, go and ruin a test. That was actually the only time that I had done that. And I used that as my pass, and I was like, what am I doing? Why did I do that? I felt so guilty and ashamed. But yeah, so once I graduated, I was like, I'm going to have time to work out. And I just visualized my life of I'm not going to be working 80 hours a week, and I'm going to have time. So I'm not going to be studying or writing papers or anything like that. So that's my time to work out. And it actually happened. So, I was done with school, and I had some time, and I started working out, started recording myself, doing workouts. COVID happened. I mean, I graduated right before COVID happened. And so everybody was doing all these challenges and recording, and just the COVID times were different. And so, yeah, I started recording myself working out, and then, somebody had asked me if I wanted to do these workouts that I'm recording at the Toyota Music Factory in Las Colinas. I'd never done anything like that before, ever. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so, I went out there. Didn't have any microphone. I had a speaker, a Beats speaker. And I started doing a workout on stage, and I invited some friends. There was 6 people out there, and shout out to those first 6 that were out there. And so, yeah, I started doing my workouts out there. People started showing up. It started getting bigger. Then I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, do you need a DJ? I'd love to go out there and be a DJ for you while you do your workouts. And I was like, at first, I kind of shut them down at first. I was like, I don't know why I did, but I didn't accept the DJ at first. And then I was like, what am I doing? I need that would be awesome. So anyways, I got a DJ. It grew, it got louder, got bigger. Each year it's gotten bigger. I actually start back up again in March. It's coming up March 29th. So we're going to be out there twice a week, every Wednesday at the Toyota Music Factory. It's pretty cool. They have me on the billboards and everything. I've always thought I wanted to be on a billboard, and I did it. I freaking made it on a billboard.
You manifested that.
I did.
I want to say, I think I remember, Victoria and Kayla was talking about that one time.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that was yours. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to click now.
Yeah. So doing that, then I went and got my HIIT certification, and I started just doing HIIT workouts for people. I have a 90-day accountability challenge that's coming up on the 22nd, right after Valentine's Day. Get that revenge body for the summer. But yeah, so I do some online HIIT classes, and it's more than just HIIT classes. It's me. You have access to me for 90 days. I'm hyping you up every single day, making sure you get a workout in or eating healthy or something. Sometimes you just need that extra person in your ear telling you, like, hey, you got this.
Yeah.
So fitness fitness fell into my lap, and I saw that I was doing something with it. So I was like, I'm going to start another LLC.
Yeah. There you go.
So I did.
There you go. Okay. So we kind of, talked about some serious stuff there. Like this part of the show, like kind of have fun, let's do some stuff.
Yeah.
If y'all listen to this show, y'all know what's coming up. It's called
Slow down. I just wanna get to know you.
Slow Down. Just want to get to know you. That's where we kind of ask you some random questions.
Okay.
We don't know where we're going to go. We're just going to get there, all right?
We're just going to get there.
We're
All
gonna
right.
get there. All right, cool. All right. So, again, real quick, I want you to, shout out all your social medias, all your, company pages, websites you want people to find you at.
Yeah. So you can find my personal IG, and it is at Queen Cavo, QUEENCAVO. And on there in my bio, I have all of my other Instagram handles for Paragon Consulting. It's just Paragon Consulting. Paragon Fitness with 3 S's instead of 2. And I also do client relations directing work for a therapy company called Assurasource. So that's also on there. That one we accept entrance. So mental health coaching, it's not regulated by the government, will not accept entrance. Therapy will accept entrance. So that would be your option if you decided not to do coaching. Facebook, Alexis Cavo. My website is www.paragoncoaching.biz. On there, you're going to find all the ways to reach me.
Okay. That's up. Make sure y'all hit her up.
Yep.
If y'all need to hit her up, if you got some things you're going through, or you want to get that fit body, make sure you hit her up, all right?
Yeah.
All right, so here's a question for you, all right?
Okay.
So for instance, I'm Ray.
Yeah.
I'm a director.
Yeah.
I want to make the Queen Cavo movie, all right?
Okay.
What actress would you want to play you in a movie?
Oh, man. My mind goes immediately straight to J-Lo. Because I do love her. I've kind of backed off celebrities a little bit. I might be a little bit of conspiracy theorist in me. But I would probably say, yeah, absolutely J-Lo.
J-Lo?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to have, the different phases of your life. When they do the biopics, they have the older version of you, younger version of you.
Yeah.
Who's going to be a younger version of you if you got J-Lo as an older version?
Who's going to be a younger version of me in my movie?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. I don't really know any young celebrities. Who's a young?
I couldn't even tell you, to be honest.
Right? I feel like I really don't even watch TV. Like I really don't watch TV. Younger version of me. Younger J-Lo.
All right. We're just gonna leave it at that. We're just gonna leave it at J-Lo right there.
Because when she was younger too, and Living Color, and she was great.
Yeah. Okay. So, I noticed, you've posted stuff about, you want to travel more this year. Last year was about your concerts.
Yes.
This year is about traveling more.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you another question here in a second, though. Where are some places you would like to travel this year, and what are some of your favorite places you've already been to?
Okay, so I just got back from Arizona, and I love Arizona, Scottsdale, Phoenix. I'm from Florida, so I love Florida, the Panhandle area, and Destin and Fort Walton Beach. So I usually try to visit there once a year. I'm also going to be going to Miami in April. I just booked my trip back to Arizona, actually. So I'm going to be going back there. But places that I want to go, I definitely want to go out of the country. I went to Greece. That's been my favorite place out of all places ever. I went to Greece and we went on Yacht Week and we went island hopping, and it was a dream. A movie, literally. But I really want to go back out of the country. Honestly, I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe like Ibiza or I think they say it with like a TH, right? Like Ibiza. Or a Croatia. I had somebody invite me to Dubai. I mean, like, I'm thinking big. We'll see if I make it to those places this year. I mean, but you never know. I didn't know I was going to be going to Miami in April. So, that kind of just came up. But yeah, I mean, Greece has been my absolute favorite place to visit.
So
amazing.
I want you to talk to me about getting lost in Mexico.
Getting lost in Mexico.
I heard there was a story.
Oh,
about
getting robbed.
Oh, you got robbed. I was told you got lost in Mexico.
No. Oh, well, we did get lost too. Okay, hold on. Let me end my IG live. Okay. So Victoria and I, well, first we got robbed and then we got lost. So if you guys know Victoria Castillo, we're both changed women, by the way. Like we have turned our lives around a lot. But we went to Mexico, and we went to Tulum. Amazing place also. And it was our first night or second night. I can't remember if it was our first or second night there. I think it was our second night. It was our second night for sure. And everybody, so we had been drinking tequila all day. That's what you do in Mexico. Maybe not. I don't know. That's what we did. So we were drinking tequila all day. And at the time, I had a boyfriend, and me, him, and then this other girl, we were like knocked out. So like we had these rooms where it's like when you go in, it's a little villa. And it's like outdoorsy, like your villa, inside your villa is outdoors, and then each room is inside, and so you can lock your room. And so the three of us were passed out, and everybody else was like still partying. I couldn't hang, and everybody else was still partying. They were like, "Let's go to the store and go get some food and alcohol." And so they all left. We had no idea. We were asleep. And when they come back, I hear like banging on my door, like screaming, like, "Alexis!" And I was like, I jumped up from being asleep, like, what the heck? What's going on? And they're like still banging on my door. And I walk out or whatever. And I'm like hungover, like just a little bit drunk still. And they were like serious, because I thought they were playing a joke, honestly. I was like, why are they banging like that? And so they were serious, and they were like, we thought that y'all were dead. They thought that we were dead inside of the room. And they were like, we thought y'all were dead. We got robbed. Everything is everywhere. Like we got robbed. And they were like mad, and just like, it was so crazy. And like, yeah, like stuff was like everywhere. Their stuff had been gone through, like, and we're pretty sure that it was somebody and that had to do with the villa, like somebody within. And so it was even scary. It was so scary. We called the cops, and even then I was scared. Like the cops showed up with like these big guns, and I was like, what if they're a part of it? And my first thought was like, what if somebody's still in the house? And I was like, oh no, like if somebody's in the house, like we're dying. Like that's it. Like I thought I had worst case scenario, and I still have anxiety. I was like, they're going to line us up against the wall and just like it's happening. Like this is it. So yeah, we got robbed. Luckily we didn't die. And, then the next day we were like, what can we do? Like we got robbed, but like, it's our second day here. Like we don't want to just like be gloomy the entire time. So we're gonna go party. Right. So, we went to the beach, and, Victoria and I, again, we had been drinking tequila, and we took off on a little adventure, and we started walking, and eventually we didn't realize how far we had went, and we were like in like climbing like it's like tree houses, but like we're inside these like tree houses, and we're walking, and then we're like, oh shoot, we don't know where we're at now. Like how did we get here? And it's like people's hotel, like their villas. Like we were walking into them, like, okay, this is not okay. We were lost. So then I don't know how or what, but like my boyfriend at the time, like he found us, or he like finds us, and like I remember him like yelling our name, And he's like, Alexis, Victoria. He was so mad. He thought we got kidnapped. He was so mad. And we were like taking pictures. Like at that point we were like, we're lost. So we started taking pictures. We started taking pictures in the sand with our bathing suits, like modeling, Instagram model stuff. We just started taking pictures. And then he sees us and we're like in like, I don't even know how far we were and just rolling around in the sand taking pictures. He was so mad.
I'm not gonna lie, I would have been mad as fucking hell too. Like, yo, what the fuck? Especially after the experience the night before. Like, yeah, I would have been hella mad at you.
Yeah. Well, it was fun.
So, I saw something the other day you posted. It may have been like yesterday or something like that. You compiled a list.
Yeah, I did.
Of things you're looking for. Let's break this list down a little bit. Let's talk about this a little bit,
Okay.
Where you want to start?
Yeah. So I just found like a new recent love for Twitter, and I don't have very many followers, but I do have Ray on there. And so I tweet whatever comes to mind. It's
That's
like
what Twitter is. Yeah.
It's like my diary. Yeah, let's start anywhere. What do you want to, where do you want to start?
So, I mean, I noticed,
What did I say?
It was a pretty extensive list. I was like, oh man, like, all right.
Yeah.
Going through this,
I had
right.
like an epiphany and I was like, you know what? This is what I'm getting. This is what I'm doing.
So this is what I just want to give you some advice. Not really some advice.
Okay.
I'm going to share some wisdom that someone shared with me recently. Someone that,
Okay.
I really, look up to, in life. I feel like you need to hang around people the level that you want to go to in life.
Mm-hmm.
You are who you hang around.
Mm-hmm.
You are who your network is.
Yeah.
I believe. And I had a guy, who's very successful in life. He's been instilling a lot of wisdom into me.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, because we talk about the whole dating, relationship, things like that. He's like, this is what I tell my sons.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want you to name the most 3 important things that are important to you.
Mm-hmm.
And especially something you want out of a significant other.
Mm-hmm.
If you find someone that checks 2 out of the 3 boxes,
Mm-hmm.
that's someone that's probably worth giving your time to.
Yeah.
You're not going to always get 3 for 3.
Yeah.
But if you can get 2 out of the 3 most important things, I think that's really important.
I had 10 or something.
Oh, yeah. It was, boy. If you could choose your top 3
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiables, like something
Yeah.
that's just, if I have these 3, okay, I can work with everything else. If I have those 3, what would those 3 things be?
First and foremost has to have God center. That's the first thing. God's got to be center, some type of relationship, and it's got to be a good one. And you know what? I now that you're talking about the list, I remember the headspace that I was in, and I was thinking about like my past relationships and how they were like the opposite. I mean, complete opposite. So then I was like, this is, now that I'm single, now that I can like I'm in a secure place, like this is what I want. Like I want people that have these qualities. So, has to have a good relationship with God. They have to be secure in who they are. They have to have, because as a woman, and I know we're talking about like double standards and things like that, but like, I don't know. For me, I like my security is in God first, but also like I want to have a protector. I want to have a provider. I want some security there too. I want the man that I end up with to be secure. Like he's gonna be a man. So that security, and then third one, I would say. What was even on my list?
I'd have to go pull it up. But
I know. Here,
like,
I'll pull it up really quick.
Because I was like, man,
it was a long list because I was literally naming every single thing, and I don't have like last year I got out of a relationship with my ex, and then I talked to one other guy, and then I thought this guy was like God sent. And then ended up just being complete opposite. So it was like, oh my gosh, how did I get like heartbroken by somebody I wasn't even like really dating, and like twice in 1 year? No. Okay. I said loves God, secure in who he is, thriving, not surviving, knows exactly what he wants, handsome, healthy and strong, ambitious, successful, fun. And then I said, no bare minimum around here because I used to settle for bare minimum. So definitely loves God. I that secure was what I said. And then I said thriving, not surviving. Now, I think that's something that kind of could be a roller coaster throughout life. Like sometimes we are just surviving and that just kind of happens. So I could work with that. But I'm hoping when I meet him, he's thriving at that time. But as far as like my third one, honestly, like if I'm being honest, loves God, secure, and I feel like handsome. Like healthy and strong is going to make somebody handsome. Confidence is going to make somebody handsome. So all around, like I have to be attracted.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to ask you a question real quick, and then I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions. And we're gonna wrap up
All right.
this part, and y'all have to check her on Lyrically Correct. Also, I forgot to say, Slow Down is brought to you by Lyrically Correct. We're gonna see how well she knows her lyrics. We'll get to that here later. All right.
All right.
But question, just scenario for you. You know, hypothetical. All right. You know, you say you rather have someone that's thriving versus surviving. Would you rather A, have someone that's already thriving and surviving, or B, y'all build an empire together?
That's a good question. I think that if they're thriving and I'm thriving, you're still able to build together. Because I feel like if you're surviving, you're in that place now. You're not secure either. Which it happens, but it's just like I don't want to get into a relationship with that person. They're not ready. They got to figure out some things. If I have the option to right now, then let them figure out what they got to figure out. Get right with God. Let Him provide that security for him so that he can step into my life. But I think thriving already. Like if they're thriving and they want to get into a relationship with you, then it's like, oh, then he knows what he wants because he could have anything if he's thriving, and I could have anybody if I'm thriving, but we're choosing each other. Yeah, I think thriving, and then you build from there.
But I want men. I want to tell y'all something. I'm gonna shout out to my men real quick. All right. It is okay to take a step back. Okay. It's okay to know, like, hey, this is somebody I know I really want, but I know I'm not in a position or place I need to be. Yeah. It's okay to recognize that. As long as you let that be known, like, hey, I really want you, I dig you, but I know I'm not where I need to be 100%. Yeah. And sometimes, man, it's hard for us to suck up that ego. One of the most painful decisions I had to do in life was someone I definitely wanted to marry and have kids with, but I knew I wasn't the man I needed to be. Man. At that time for her in her life. And I was like, let me continue building on myself, be on my destiny, be on my purpose. Yeah. And I think that's, I think women get attracted to a man that are on their purpose and on their destiny. Yes. And you realize like, I'm not going to, just be out here dating anything. I'm on my purpose. Yeah. I'm trying to fulfill my destiny. I'm trying to take it to the next level. Yeah. And as men, that's what we need to be on. Yeah. Don't worry about always trying to, get this girl and that girl. Get to the next level, bro. Yeah. Get them assets, bro. Yes. Get them keys, get them deeds, bro. Like what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Where we got them stocks at? Where we got them bonds, IRAs, get them CDs, bro. What we doing, bro? Yep. Where your rental property at? What you doing, bro? Like, let's not just be blowing money. You know what I'm saying? Or just say, little mama, let me fly you out to Miami. Some shit. No, bro. Like, that shit, bro. Like, that's a waste of money and a waste of resources. Yeah. And men, we get it twisted because we see what's going on in the world. Like, don't give out your resources to a woman that's not yours, bro. Make sure everything is tight at home before you try to give out resources to someone else. And I just want y'all to think about that real quick, because a lot of y'all be trying to stunt and trick and whoop to oppress a girl. Nah, fuck that, bro. If you is who he is, if you him, as we be saying, they're gonna be attracted to you. Yeah, just being you. Yeah, exactly. And that's how the relationship's going to work, because you like the person for who they are and not what they can, provide you. But it's crazy that you say that really quick. Like one of the hardest decisions that you had to make was to like say, hey, I've still got to like work on things. And that's kind of what happened in the last relationship and that's kind of where the thriving, not surviving part came to mind, because at the time it was like, yeah, we're going to get married and have kids and this and that. And then I believed all of these things, which that's my own issue. Like I was triggered. I took that personal. And so I was so hurt by it whenever he said, he was like, actually, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. And then like, we just ended up not talking anymore. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah. But that's something personal that I had to figure out. And
so that's where I was like, you know what? I want them to already be, in their purpose. And yeah, then we can build together.
All right.
Yeah.
My last couple of questions, so we gonna wrap her up. All right?
Mm-hmm.
First one, what is something you feel that seems to be misunderstood about you?
Something that's misunderstood about me. That's a good question. I feel like people know that I work hard because, like, I do a lot of things. And I try to be as authentic as I can, like, on my social media. So, like, nobody's, like, I'm not really hiding anything. And I always say, like, if you always tell the truth, like, you don't have to remember anything. And so, I don't know, being, you know what? I do know. I think because I am in this position that I'm in now, and I've created my life the way that it looks from the outside in. Okay, mental health coach, life coach, fitness coach, all of the things, traveling, having fun, girls' nights, all the things. I think that people don't really know, like I shared with at the beginning, like what I had gone through, and that I still go through things sometimes. And I think that that's something people think that, like you've got it all together, but like, no, I don't. Like I absolutely do not have it all together. I still have my times and my moments. I'm still in debt. Like I had to get lots of student loans I paid for my college, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get out of it. Like there's still things in my mind that make me insecure. And so, I seem confident and I seem secure, but like I have my moments too. And I think, I'm also human and I'm not perfect, and not saying that people think that I am, but I think that in this industry, it can look like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Man, that's a good answer, all right? So here's one of the last questions. It is a two-part question. I like to always be the last question I ask my guests, all right?
Okay.
First one, what do you want people to take away from this podcast you did today?
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, if you can give any advice, it could be about anything, any subject, anything, what advice would you give to someone?
Okay. To take away from this podcast, I think what we talked about earlier, like your thoughts, they're going to create the way that you feel. And so life isn't supposed to be happy all the time. If death happens, you want to choose to be sad. I'm not saying choose to be happy all of the time, but I want you to, if you could take something away from this podcast, know that, like, the power that you have. Maybe somebody's like stripped your power away from you before, regardless of what the circumstance was. I mean, it could be the most horrific thing, but know that if you wanted to today, like right now in this moment, listening to this, that you could take your power back and start today and take one step at a time, get into community, get help, whatever you got to do. My advice is to always get into community. Like, yes, we want to say, like, I just got to get myself out of this, but sometimes it's just like crawling to somebody so that person can help lift you up. Like, you don't have to go through life alone. You don't have to do this life alone. The enemy wants us to be alone with our thoughts. I mean, I always say, like, think about the movie, I don't remember what it's called, but with Wilson, the ball.
Oh,
And Tom Hanks? Is it Tom Hanks?
Castaway.
Yeah.
Castaway.
Yeah. Right. So, like, if a human being is left, on an island alone with their thoughts, like, how crazy do they end up going? It's because we need connection. We need to be able to connect with other people. Like, that's what we're designed to. So if you are isolating, if you're by yourself, and you are struggling, if there's, I don't know what it is, but some type of fear of just letting somebody know that you're not okay, do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Let somebody know.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. I appreciate that. Thank you again for taking your time out and coming in and doing this podcast with us.
Yeah.
Also, if you feel like she's speaking to you right now, reach out to her.
Yeah.
Reach out. If you don't reach out to her, if you don't want to reach out to her directly, you can reach out to me, and I'll link it up.
Everything is confidential.
Yeah.
So.
People love you out there. I want you to know, everyone, you're loved. Like I said, again, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow her, follow all her pages, all of her business. Make sure you're going to go like and subscribe Ray Ray's podcast. Go to rayrayspodcast.com. All that good stuff. You know, subscribe. YouTube. That's really big. You know, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. All right. You know, I like to always end with some positive words. And, you know, be sure to go check her out. See if she's lyrically correct. Find out after you watch this podcast. Go see if she's lyrically correct. But, you know, tell yourself, you know, I will boss up mentally. I will boss up spiritually.
Yes.
I will boss up physically, and I will boss up financially.
Amen.
Invest in yourself. It's your boy Ray. Ray's podcast. We'll catch you next time, all right?
Bye.
Hey, get money all day, get money all night. Sip my drink home, let's get right. Get in pay. Hey, get money all day, get money.